Hello and welcome again to Seven Rivers Talk. I'm Bob Burrell and very happy to be with you as usual. And today we have a really interesting schedule, as we always do on our Monday and Tuesday morning shows here. As you know, Seven Rivers Talks appears at 5:30 on Channel 23 and on the other cable networks throughout the area. So my guest today probably didn't realize this, but Chris Schneider, who is the hybrid guru of this entire area, you'll be passing about 75,000 households as we address this.
Wonderful.
The whole secret, of course, is to get 75,000 viewers. You have a topic, indeed, that should grab everyone's attention. Chris will be my guest the first two segments here, and then Ben Clemente will be my guest for the last section of this show. We're going to be talking about the upcoming legislation at the state legislature, including a couple of bills that are key for all of us. So you want to stick with us throughout the whole program. Chris is as I said, the hybrid guru, and we're going to explain that in a moment here in this entire area. But he also is the president of Honda Motors, which is a pretty demanding job as well. When we talk about hybrid energy or hybrid automobiles or hybrid, am I covering
a little of all of that? Absolutely, yes.
How long have you been involved in the hybrid technology and the hybrid concept?
Well, hybrids actually existed over 100 years ago, Bob, and many people are unaware that gasoline-electric hybrids were out there, but they have been. I've been communicating about fuel efficiency and environmental sensitivity all of my career, so part-time for about 45 years and full-time for about 32 years.
Wow.
About 10 years ago then, we really started to focus on the gasoline-electric hybrids. I was invited by the UW Extension agent in Trempealeau County to communicate with 7th and 8th graders in Trempealeau County for their Environmental Day.
About 10 years ago?
Yeah, it was September of '99.
All right.
And the response from the young people was so awesome. Right. I knew that I needed to do more of it, and so I've been communicating to university and technical colleges and energy fairs and Rotary clubs and television and radio and newspaper.
So because of a real conscience on your part and a commitment to help educate youth, you actually probably then did quite a bit of homework on this before that 10-year ago presentation, and it really lit your light, so to speak.
Well, I'm a mechanical engineer by education, okay. And this has always been a tremendous interest for me. My father was involved in fuel-efficient cars back in the 60s, and so it was important for us to get this message out. And recently the message has been changing to not just hybrids, but also alternative fuel. So we've been talking about compressed natural gas vehicles, mm-hmm. and the refueling necessary for them, and the tax incentives and other issues regarding compressed natural gas.
Natural gas, we all know about that because we've used natural gas in our stoves and use it for appliances. But the idea of natural gas, Chris, for cars, that brings up thoughts about, well, can we have, with a natural gas car, can we just drive in, fill up somewhere, and drive off at our usual normal speed limits and all that?
You can, and I have. For over 3 years, I've been driving a natural gas vehicle, and you can drive to Minneapolis or Madison or Milwaukee or Appleton, West Bend, Des Plaines, Illinois, and do exactly what you're saying, Bob. Pull into a gasoline station and refuel within 5 minutes.
That's unbelievable. And how about, the question arrives, of course, how about the cost and the expense both for the natural gas conversion in terms mm-hmm. of our automobile engine, mm-hmm. but in terms of at the pump cost?
Yeah. Well, in terms of the car itself, I actually happen to have a sticker of one here.
Right.
And you'll see the incremental cost for compressed natural gas is $69.35, $6,935. So it's quite expensive.
Right.
But the federal government thinks that it's so important that Americans move to American fuel, because 98% of what we burn in this country in our homes, heating hot water, our buildings, and into some of our vehicles, that is produced in the United States. And they think it's so important, they've established a $4,000 tax credit to support this marketplace.
Okay. All right. The which brings us to the question, of course, Chris, of reserves, our natural gas reserve. Now, we also have a lot of offshore regular oil, as we know it, and so the incentive here to move from oil to natural gas has to do with having our own supply here, but on the other hand, it also has to do with is it a cleaner air fuel?
Absolutely. Natural gas is primarily methane, and methane is CH4, whereas gasoline is C8H14. So there's 8 times as many
for all
carbons.
you chemists, I mean, that's you can just remember that there are 2 different elements here we're working with.
And that one has 8 times as much carbon in it as the other one.
Okay.
So the CNG vehicle that I drive, the Honda Civic GX, that has been produced in America for 12 years, is the cleanest internal combustion engine ever tested by the EPA. So it's extremely clean. It's also very affordable. Last night online, Bob, I looked at cngprices.com, and in Waukesha, it's $1 even a gallon. For a gallon of equivalent
of CNG.
to get the same amount of BTUs of CNG as in a gallon of gasoline, it's $1 even.
Boy, this is quite startling news. I'm talking to Chris Schneider, who is the hybrid guru that is of the area. He's been involved in this sort of thing since, as Chris says, the 60s. With his father, now he is president of Honda Motors here in the La Crosse area. And but we're talking about converting, if you will, the normal traditional 6-piston or 6-cylinder, 8-cylinder into the use of natural gas. And I'm going to ask you, Chris, about the costs of converting regular oil burning or gas burning and or diesel burning engines into a natural gas conversion. But we'll do that in a minute or two. We'll be right back, and I'll be talking again with Chris, and we'll explain more about how this, how would you call this, a dream fuel maybe?
It's a dream bridge fuel.
There you are.
Yes.
There you are, a dream bridge fuel. I'm Bob Burrell on 7 Rivers Talk. We'll see you in a moment.